Have you ever come home after a day where you didn't lift a single box, didn't run a single mile, didn't do anything that looks like work on the outside, and yet you feel like you've been hit by a truck? You didn't dig a ditch. You didn't climb a mountain. You just sat in meetings, answered emails, chose what to eat for lunch, decided which task to do first, then changed your mind, picked a reply to a text message and deleted it 3 times before sending. And still, exhaustion. Bone-deep, mysterious exhaustion. Here's the truth: your body isn't tired. Your mind is tired. And there's a name for what happened to you today. Psychologists call it decision fatigue, and once you understand it, you will never look at your daily life the same way again. Let's start with a strange fact. In the 1990s, social psychologist Roy Baumeister ran a series of experiments that would change how we think about willpower forever. In one study, he brought students into a room with a plate of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies and a bowl of radishes. Some students were told they could eat the cookies. Others were forced to eat only the radishes, while the cookies sat right in front of them, smelling incredible. Afterward, both groups were given an impossible puzzle to solve. The cookie eaters kept trying for nearly 20 minutes. The radish eaters, the ones who had to resist temptation, gave up in about 8 minutes. Same intelligence. Same puzzle. Completely different outcome. Baumeister's conclusion was radical for its time: willpower behaves like a muscle. Use it, and it gets tired. And here's the twist: decision-making draws from that exact same reserve of mental energy. Every choice you make, no matter how small, spends a little bit of that fuel. Coffee or tea? Reply now or later? Left turn or right turn? Your brain doesn't distinguish between life-changing decision and which socks to wear. Each one takes a sip from the same cup. And by evening, the cup is empty. This is decision fatigue, the gradual decline in the quality of your decisions after a long session of decision-making. If you think this is just a cute psychology trick, consider this: it has been shown to affect matters of literal freedom and justice. Researchers studied Israeli parole board judges, experienced professionals whose entire job is to make fair, careful decisions about whether a prisoner deserves release. The study tracked over 1,000 rulings across 10 months. The finding was unsettling. Prisoners who appeared before the judges early in the morning had roughly a 65% chance of being granted parole. But as the day wore on, that number collapsed, dropping close to zero right before a break. Then, after the judges ate lunch and rested, the approval rate jumped straight back up to that same 65%. Like clockwork. 3 times a day, the same pattern repeated. These were not lazy or careless people. They were trained legal experts trying their best. But their brains, drained by dozens of complex decisions, defaulted to the easiest possible choice, deny parole, maintain the status quo, decide nothing new. This reveals something profound about human nature. When the mind is exhausted, it doesn't become irrational, it becomes conservative. It avoids risk. It avoids change. It clings to the default option, whatever that happens to be. Which raises an uncomfortable question. How many decisions have you made late in the day that weren't really decisions at all, just your tired brain taking the path of least resistance? Here's where philosophy and history offer us something psychology alone cannot: perspective. For most of human history, the number of decisions a person made in a single day was small. A farmer in medieval Europe decided what to plant, when to harvest, how to fix a fence. A hunter-gatherer decided which direction to walk, which berries were safe. The choices were real, sometimes life or death, but they were few. Compare that to now. Some estimates suggest the average adult today makes thousands of decisions daily, from the moment a phone alarm offers 17 different snooze options, to the 100 product choices in a single supermarket aisle, to the endless scroll of, what should I watch next? The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught something remarkably relevant here, nearly 2,000 years before neuroscience existed. He argued that human suffering often comes not from events themselves, but from being pulled in too many directions by things outside our control. His solution was radical simplicity, narrowing your attention to only what truly matters, and treating everything else as noise. Epictetus never heard the term decision fatigue. But he had already diagnosed the disease. A mind stretched across too many small choices loses its strength for the important ones. We built a world of infinite options. Our brains were built for a world of few. That mismatch is, quite literally, exhausting us. If decision fatigue is a tax on your mental energy, then the smartest people in history have all discovered the same loophole: reduce the number of taxable events. You've probably heard that Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck and jeans nearly every single day. Mark Zuckerberg famously kept a closet of identical gray t-shirts. Barack Obama, while president, told an interviewer he deliberately limited himself to wearing only gray or blue suits, explaining that he didn't want to waste decision-making energy on what to eat or wear, because he had so many other decisions to make. This isn't laziness or lack of style. It's strategy. Every trivial decision they eliminated from their morning was mental energy preserved for decisions that actually mattered, decisions about products, policies, people's lives. This same principle echoes across cultures and centuries. Buddhist monks wear simple robes not out of poverty alone, but because uniformity removes a category of daily choice entirely, freeing the mind for contemplation. Military organizations use uniforms for the same underlying reason, whether they call it that or not. The lesson isn't everyone should wear the same outfit every day. The lesson is deeper: your mental energy is a finite resource, and where you spend it is a choice you can make in advance, before fatigue makes the choice for you. So here's the practical part, because understanding a problem is only half the value if you can't act on it. First, make your most important decisions early. Whatever requires your sharpest judgment, a difficult conversation, a big purchase, a creative decision, do it in the first half of your day, while your mental reserves are full. Save routine tasks, easy replies, and low-stakes choices for later, when your fuel is already low. Second, build routines for the unimportant stuff. Decide once, not daily. What you eat for breakfast, what time you go to bed, what route you take to work, turn these into automatic habits rather than fresh decisions each time. Every routine you build is a decision you never have to make again. Third, recognize the warning signs in yourself. If you notice you're avoiding a decision, defaulting to, "I'll just get the usual," or feeling irrationally irritated by a simple question like, "Where do you want to eat?" That's not a character flaw. That's decision fatigue talking. The wise response isn't to force through it. It's to rest, eat, or postpone the decision, just like those parole judges after lunch. Fourth, protect your mornings from other people's decisions. Notifications, messages, and requests that flood in before you've even had coffee are, in effect, other people making withdrawals from your mental account before you've spent a cent on your own priorities. None of this requires willpower to implement, which is fitting, because willpower is exactly the resource we're trying to protect. So the next time you feel that strange, unexplainable exhaustion at the end of an easy day, remember the radishes, remember the judges, remember Epictetus narrowing his mind to what truly mattered. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are a human being who made 1,000 invisible decisions, and your mind, like any muscle, simply ran out of strength. The goal isn't to eliminate decisions from your life. That's impossible. The goal is to spend your limited mental energy on purpose, instead of letting 1,000 small choices spend it for you. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, subscribe to StoryMind English, because we explore one truth about the human mind every single week, in clear, simple English, for curious minds everywhere in the world. I'll see you in the next one.